El Bari utswile me Bari utsene Bauhara utsene Latime utswile me Pauli Junior liene wa tsena ke tsone diphetogo di le pedi Sundowns bone ba tswela fela ka masole a ba simolotseng ka one metsotso e le 15 ya bofela e tle go nna fa Sundowns tla tshwarela jana tla nna jala e le melele mo setlhopheng sa Sundowns mme ke la jalo kwa morago mo tseleng ya ga Ron Williams wa lebella Ronwen tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Muthabi Mvala a re bone Botoil a batsa kgileo a e busetsa jalo kwa morago mo tseleng ya ga Ron Williams Sailor fela ba khona go boakane kwa morago e bekete we go ga ka mogatla Sailor fela jaaka baratile ba latedi maloba kwa Cairo ba ne ba tletse kwa lebaleng tota kwa Casablanca ba ne ba tletse kwa lebaleng Sundowns dirile jalo le yone mo letsatsing la gompieno ba tlile ka boitidi Botoil be tsela ka kwa ntle ya go tlosa jalo ke setlhopha sa ya go tlosa jalo ba lekala go batla phatla ka kgileo setlhopha sa Wydad ke ba mo kwena tsigaloto Ribeiro mo kgwilenga fela ba khona go isireletsa gape kwa morago ga ba kitla ba bona boroko fa go tla fela ka tseleng tse ntšhana ka boyelo Mamelodi Sundowns Matsestoropo ya Tshwane Pretoria Matsestoropo ya Atteridgeville Mamelodi go akaretsa bo Soshanguve Mabopane Garankuwa go tlala go ketekiwa phitlhelo ya setlhopha sa the Brazilians fa ile gore go tla fela ka tseleng tse ntšhana mo letsatsi la gompieno a re bone jalo Abdel Botoil Bole Junior ba rotseng loto Musa Lebusa a ba robala ka kgwele kwa morago Musa ba amoga kgwele ba go kailwe phoso ka tlhanong tšhala le setlhopha sa the Red Devils o ne o kgorometsa serintla sa monna jaaka o mmona ka baithawa re ke Ramabole serintla sa monna wa Bole Junior Arbone Modiba wa tswaka kutadaki Lebusa.
He's talking to his goalkeeper, but he's the man at fault here. Just look at this. They're onside, and he lets his man go. And that could easily have been a goal back, and they would have made it 3-3 on aggregate. It would have given us more mileage in this game. And they're complaining to each other, Ronwin Williams and defender Botoil. So close for Al Amloud, who scored at this ground in May. One of the two goals, the other one of course was that unfortunate own goal by Muthabi Mvala. 2 of the last 4 goals that Wydad have scored against Sundowns have been own goals. And the 12th men certainly doing their job. Now, free kick for Wydad from deep inside their own half. They need to respond. They've been much, much better in the second half. Much, much better. But they haven't really come that close to scoring, if the truth be told. They've made a whole lot of And Rulani Mokoena is very close to realizing his dream. Here's the other Mokoena. Nice turn from Zungu. And the referee stops it all and brings them back again, much to the chagrin of the crowd. This man Allende has run himself ragged today. He really has been busy. He's had some lovely touches and he's tidied up in midfield. He's been very, very good. In fact, very few players on the Sundowns side have not been good today. Referee indicating that he's stopping his watch for yet another stoppage in play. But this man deserves all the credit in the world. Now they're going to be substitutions aplenty here. Unajem is going to come on, Mohamed Unajem, and Sundowns are going to make two changes of their own here. Late in the piece, it looks like yesterday's birthday boy who turned 21, Tapelo Maseko, former SuperSport United players, are going to come on. So too well, I'll just pause for a moment as we confirm the changes. So Unajem is coming on here for Wydad, and he is going to replace Anas Serhat, who hasn't been nearly as effective today. So Mohamed Unajem, man who signed on loan from Zamalek in Egypt. And the Sundowns fans know how close they are. So Unajem, in fact, is now on loan from Zamalek in Egypt. He signed permanently in August of 2022. There's a lot of arguing going on here. Yellow card for Onwin Williams. So he's the first Sundowns play into the book. Sundowns are going to make those changes. As I said, Tapelo Maseko, 21 years old yesterday, former SuperSport United man, he's coming on. And Aubrey Modiba, who scored the second goal and has been brilliant on the left-hand side. He's bailed out his defence on a number of occasions. In the first half, he was mainly on the right-hand side of the field. Nice slotted back into his more natural position, and he returns to the field of play. Still some defensive duties for Sundowns to do here. Field half in shadow, half in sun. Wydad are going to knock balls into the box. It's going to be all pressure from them. That's beautiful, calm defending from the Brazilian. Shalulile trying to make it stick. Can't quite, but the ball is loose now, and Sundowns can bring it upfield and buy themselves some time. 3.5 minutes plus a lot of stoppage time left in this one. It's great skill. What more twists and turns has this game got for us? Swane and Modiba combining brilliantly. Two men who've scored recently against Wydad. Modiba today, Swane when these sides last met at Loftus. And it looks as if Sundowns are going to keep their record against Wydad Casablanca at home of never having lost to them in 6 previous meetings. Only the one change so far for the Brazilians. And if it stays like this, Sundowns will be the inaugural champions of this inaugural competition, the African Football League. They've got a corner and they're buying time here, and they're running down the clock, and they're doing it effectively. Peter Shalulile, one wondered if he was going to last 90 minutes. Not only is he lasting 90 minutes, but he scored the key goal, and he's still full of energy. You can't keep a good Namibian down. This could be a yellow card here for time wasting for Allende. Referee's taking a lenient view of proceedings, but he is taking a lot of time over this corner. Wydad players are complaining. Time is very much against them now. And Rulani Mokoena might do well to get his substitutes on now. And here they come, a whole lot of them. We're going to see Brian Onyango. He hasn't played much this season, so he's coming on. Are they going to let the corner take place first? Well, Peter Shalulile is being directed off the park, and it looks like his race is run, and he'll take the applause from the crowd. Brilliant effort today. Scored the opening goal, and this man is on. He goes by the surname of Mandela as well, does Brian Onyango. He's also got dual nationality. He was born in Kenya, and it looks like Mashego is going to come on as well. Terence Mashego. There's now a yellow card to Temba Zwane. This game's getting completely out of control now, and the referee just needs to keep a grip on proceedings. He's booking Zwane. Not quite sure what that's all about. Maybe for a bit of time wasting, maybe a bit of arguing, maybe something is said to the referee. See if we can pick up what's going on here. You see, Zwane comes and gets involved, and he doesn't need to get involved, and that's an unnecessary yellow card. So we've got about 30 seconds remaining. There's a corner to come, and Tapelo Maseko is being introduced. Peter Shalulile is leaving the park. This young man, just 21 years old yesterday, and if he could get a late goal, that would really be a belated birthday present for him. Off goes the captain, Zwane, as well. Somebody else is going to have to take over the captain's armband. And here he comes. He's played with a maturity beyond his years. I'll just watch this corner, then Ojo will take you through the remaining action. In it comes, keeper flaps it in uncertainly, and it's going to be a goal kick at the end of it all. So OJ, I don't know how much stoppage time there's going to be. I would guess there's going to be quite a lot. And Sundowns, if they keep a clean sheet, they win the trophy. All yours.
Re tsena mo metsotsong e tla metsotso e tla tlisang kutlobotlhoko, metsotso e tla tlisang boitumelo, metsotso e le robongwe, 9 minutes. A re bone gore Sundowns ya go dira jang mo metsotsong e le robongwe ye ya bofelo felo. Ronan Williams se tsamogetse karate e sorolwana. Tlosa kgwele kwa morago Ronwen o e tlhabela kwa pele, mme dingwaga ditwa metsotso e le robongwe ka nna dingwaga di le robongwe. Se ke kgwele ya dinao, a game of billions. Kgwele o ba e tsaba e romela fela kwa godimo. Bona yende o na ro tsena ka tlhogo. Thulwa jalo matsheraganyo ka phoso, khala thula sentle, lona Mamelodi Sundowns. Anahag Ben 10 Bongani Zungu khawa thula sentle ana baba tsaba romela ko pela tlhogo ya bo feta kwa thoko kgileng. Wa yetse e tlile go nna nako e telele mogene mona yo. Wa yetse e tlile go nna nako e telele mogene mona yo. Wa Rulane Mokwena me bona ba metsotsele supa go tswa mo go ketekeng, mme ba tsweletse ba keteka ba ratele balatedi ba Emanoke ba tshegetse ba ba sala setlhopha sa Mamelodi Sundowns, ba ba janga ba robala ba tsoga Mamelodi Sundowns, ba mowa wa bone ba hema Mamelodi Sundowns, ba madi a bone a leng serolwana ba tsweletse ba phapasela di flaga di a phapasela mo moyeng na matlha wa mo tshupana konga matlha ga Rulane Mokwena mo tshupana konga ba tshameki ga ba e bone tshupana konga bone ba tsweletse ba dira tiro, ba semeletse ba dira tiro. A romela kgweleo thula ga tlhogo fela e tswela ga kwa ntle, ya go fetoga gona phela Mamelodi ya Wydad Casablanca ga sa tlhola emela ka dinao. South Africa's Pep Guardiola o ntse fafatshe Rulani Mokwena wa etse gore go emela ka maoto go tla nna kete o tshwara nako fa gona jana o tla bo ipotsa gore metsotso le metlhano e setseng o tla dirang for o ska lebella se se diragalang fa bangwe ga ba batle go lebella se se diragalang fa bauli la rutila kgele ka tlhogo Ronald Williams wa go tlosa kgele kwa morago na le karate serwana Ronald Williams wa go tlosa kgele kwa morago Ronald wa etsa we ba tlhakwa maule we ba mpatshane thula ka tlhogo fela ga ye gope kgwileo go tla ketekiwa kwa Tshwane the city of Tshwane go tla ketekiwa metse e mabapi go tla ketekiwa kwa mafelong a Mamelodi Sundowns e latelwang gone fela re setse re na le nako fa metsotso jaanong re a kogile metlhano a e tla tsoga Wydad nno fela e ka fetola sengwe le sengwe a re bone kwa morago monna jole wa Ahanag o e romela le tele ba kwa pele fela ya go tloswa le call kick ya ga Ronald Williams ya go tloswa le call kick ya ga Ronald Williams 96 Mothabi Mvala wa itlhoma kwa morago Ronald wa itlhoma kwa morago Ronald Williams ga ana tshupa nako ga itse gore nako e tsamaya kae o lebella Ronald o e tsena ka fa tlase ya bo e dumela e ya kwa godimo ba leka go e folosa ka boyelo Tebo Mokwena fela ba ba tswaletse kwa morago ba ba tsenya loto ya go ba sia e tswela kwa ntle e fetoga jalo gona call kick ya Mamelodi Sundowns ke o mana mo tshwantsho sa gago le ene o tswa kwa Tshwane kwa SuperSport United ga ba gantse tsela fela o emeletse gape Rulani ona rona fa fatshe stilo sa bo se mo tlhotlhonela me stilo fa se go tlhotlhonela o tshwanela ke go ema ka maoto o emeletse gape Rulani Mokwena ba go etlosa le tatlhela wa Mamelodi Sundowns se le fetse go amogela go bona dikarata di le serolwana di le mmalwa Terence Mashego le ene o tsene kgweleo ya ga kgiwa ke Sailaman wa lebella ka kgweleo Sailaman wa itse gore o setse ka metsotso e ka nna meraro gore a ba aparelwa ke boitumelo ga ke solofelele bosibega jwa lega ba tla itumelela jaaka ba itla itumela mo letsatsing la gompieno lekgetlho la ntlha go le thulaganya kgaisano ye lekgetlho la ntlha e nna ditshimega ba dira seo ba le mogae morwa Julius KK Sono ragwe ke morwa rage Jomo Sono the Prince Matsilele Jomo Sono re mogolo wa gagwe o tshameketse Orlando Pirates Pamuza Sono Ntsalage Pamuza le Matsilele ba tshameketse Jomo Cosmos kgweleo ya go tloswa ke Mamelodi Sundowns ba go e tlhoma ka kwa botlhaba jwa lebala re bala metsotso e motshameko o simolola go tswa mo taolong gotlhelele wa tswa Marcelo Ayende go tsena jalo Leboha Maboye go tsena jalo Leboha Maboye ba simolola go tsamaisana ko Mamelodi Sundowns re bala a minute and a half to go motsotso le di sekente gore motshameko ye bokhutlong fela mo kgweleng ya dinao sengwe le sengwe se ka diragala ga go tswa karata e tswela mang semola go tswa mo taolong Saila ke ena amogela karata e serolwana wa lemoga gore nako ile e nna mokatisi jalo monna wa maselo a yende ga ke batla go bona fa phala e lla bokgetla makgetlo a le mararo gore go tla diragala mo lebalela Loftus lebala le la mothamo di kete di le 15 45,000 capacity ga ke itse gore go tla diragalang me Sundowns ba tsweletse ba senya nako karata e serolwana Tebogo Mokoena ga e se le kgetlo la ntlha. This is not for the first time se diragala. Sundowns ba amogela dikarata di tla telelana tlhompho ke kana wa itse ntlha eo ba le ba amogela dikarata di ka tla 5 ka tatelano ba tshwantse ba tseye sekhutlo ba sa se tseye. Ke batla go bona mo go ye gore yo mongwe yo o tle go amogelang karata ke mang mme rona re batla go chaisa metsotso e le robongwe e fedile ba e tlhomile kgwele yao a re bone Mamelodi Sundowns a re bone Mamelodi Sundowns gore ba go sika nako gape ba e tlhomile gate tlosang kgwele unsportsmanship ga e se mo wa botsalano Thapelo Masekwa ga ke itse lele Bongani Zungu ga ke itse gore a tla ya mogela mme metsotso e le robongwe e fedile dimilione di le supa le botlhano Patrice Motsepe o thikita tlhogo Gianni Infantino o thikita tlhogo gore na re se se diragalang fa keng re tsamaile metsotso e le 10 jaanong ga ke sa di kwala dikarata. Bongani Zungu mo kgweleng a wa go amogela karata le re bona metlholo metla e fa fa re simolola go bona metlae jaanong se ke metlae se ke bogogorwane ba go e tlosa kgweleo ga ke itse selo se se dirwang ke batshameki ba Sundowns se bidiwang kgweleo ya go tloswa le tatlhelo fela metsotso e fedile. Tebogo Mokoena ba molaela go tswela kwa ntle ga ke itse ba molaela tota ba re kgwele e tloswa ke Sundowns. Mike, what is this? ba go e tlosa kgweleo Bongani Zungu a ba e kgoma go senene a re bone metsotso e fedile metsotso e fedile motsereganyana ne tatlhelo ba tshwere dipelo ka diatla balatedi ba Sundowns ba tshwere dipelo ka diatla balatedi ba Wydad Casablanca metsotso re mo motsotsong wa bo 11 a re bone kgweleo ba e tsaya ba se tlhako go ya kwa pele ya go thula ka ditlhogo kwa morago Brian Onyango Mandela thula ke tlhogo gape a re bone re ba ya ka go botlhaba jwa lebala mme fela ba ka tswa ba ikwatlhela se ba se dirileng Sundowns a re bone gore ba go dira mo kgweleng tsela ka le ba go sola di 18 ga no tshwanetse ba itlhabela gongwe le gongwe kwa ba tshwanetse go isa gone ga bo go nna fela jalo ya go fetoga go datatlhelo ke lebeletse jalo re Kambondala gore a reng a re bone Wydad Casablanca ba e tsaya ba e romela kgweleng thula ka tlhogo Terence Mashego fela e bua ka the Red Devils gape go thata ba isimolola kwa morago a romela le tele ba kwa pele a ba iatlarela Ronald Williams banka Sundowns e emeletse yotlhe ba emetse gore phala e lediwe makgetlo a mararo ba go e tlosa kwa morago lebela tshupana kwa motsereganye re mo motsotsong re lebile motsotso wa 13 re lebile motsotso wa 13 Somola o tswile mo taolong mme motho wetso fa go nna jalo Afrika Borwa ya bo e phophoma ka boitumelo Afrika Borwa ya bo e amogela sejana le kgetlo la ntlha se tlhamilwe sejana se Africa Football League. Sundowns ke di tshimega Mamelodi Sundowns ba fenya Wydad Casablanca ka dilo di pedi go le fela ga ba dumele fela ba dumela go boitumelo jo bo sengana ka sepe. Oh, re bone drama mo motshamekong, drama mo motshamekong fela ke ditshimega Mamelodi Sundowns re wetsa ka tsela ntsenjalo motwetso 2 Mamelodi Sundowns and not the stoppers Wydad Casablanca ke boela go diphaposing khaso Hlompo Kekana Mark Haskins ha moga le Thabiso Mosia re dire go lekane re ile motwetso.
themselves into the history books of not only Sundowns but also continental football. They've lifted only their third continental trophy if you count the CAF Super Cup in 2017 as well as the Champions League in 2016, and they've won the first edition of the African Football League. And the captain, the last man to lift a continental trophy for Sundowns, Hlompo Kekana, is here with us in studio. Hlompo Kekana, you know exactly how this feels. How does it feel today?
Well, I think these boys deserve it. You know, they needed to reward themselves with this trophy. You know, it's a sacrifice to play in this tournament. It is a sacrifice to play in the continental tournament because of the logistics of traveling and, you know, having to spend a lot of time away of home. I think this is the moment where they need to cherish, and I think this moment of greatness. I think players from now on, they will look at this game differently, and they will build from there, go into the Champions League, because they need this Champions League. I think this is the team that I believe in South Africa, that they deserve to be in these finals, because of the sacrifices they keep playing in these tournaments year in, year out, and I think they needed to reward themselves with this.
And they've done it the hard way. Mark Haskins beat teams that knocked them out of the Champions League, Petro, Al Ahly, and even Wydad Casablanca. I mean, Wydad Athletic Club, fully deserved for Sundowns.
Rulani Mukwena said this is a revenge mission.
Yeah.
Revenge was gained, and so they certainly did well. Exceptional throughout the tournament, I must say. Even the way they played the game today, handled it beautifully. I think Wydad will look back at this and say, in that first half, they sat back too deep.
Yeah.
It's one thing absorbing pressure, but when you sit all the way back like that, you're inviting trouble, and you can't do that for 90 minutes.
Yep.
If they push Sundowns early in the game and then later in the game try to sit back, then you can understand it. But to try and sit back for a full 90 minutes, definitely not the way to go.
Okay, so the trophy is staying in South Africa. Sundowns winning the first edition of what has been a terrific African Football League, the first edition here. And the trophy comes with a cool check of $4 million. But Hlompo has told us that it's more about pride, more about prestige for the players. And it's the media and the fans that make a lot of noise about the money. But money is important. We'll wrap up the second leg final after this break. We immediately go back to Loftus Versfeld to get the raw emotions from the Sundowns winning coach, Rulani Mukwena.
Coach Rulani, an emotional day. You are officially the champions of the African Football League. What is going through your head right now?
Congratulations to this amazing group of players. I'm just very lucky to be their coach. And congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns, and congratulations.
And coach, I mean, you did it the hard way. You went to Morocco. You came here with a very narrow deficit, but now you've actually done it in front of your fans, 50,000 packed supporters. What is the emotion for you right now?
It's for the fans, it's for the Yellow Nation, it's for this magnificent group of players. It's for our chairman. Unbelievable support he's always given to me. It's Gaston. It's for you guys, it's for the technical staff, Coach Mangoa, Coach Wendell, Coach Michael, and then this magnificent group of players. Congratulations to everybody.
And Coach, just on a personal note for you, what does this mean for you personally, achieving such an amazing achievement?
It's difficult to talk. the conditions are very difficult, but God is good and God loves us all.
Thank you, coach, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, 36-year-old Rulani Mukwena lifting his first trophy as a solo head coach at Sundowns. He was assistant to Pitso Musimane in 2016 when they won the CAF Champions League with Hlompo Kekana. He doesn't talk much about himself, Mark, but how much credit does he deserve here for how he's navigated this competition?
I think it's always difficult coming into a setup like Sundowns. I mean, if you look at the amount of quality players they have.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to keep every player happy? And that's probably the hardest job for a coach, because when you're a quality player and you're not playing, then players start sulking or whatever, and it disrupts the dressing room. But you can see that's a united team. They are a collective. Whether you're on the field or not, they all back one another, because everyone knows they'll get their turn or whatever the case may be, but they support one another. And that the credit has to go to the coach to keep that kind of camaraderie within a squad like Sundowns. That's, I mean, easier said than done. So that alone is a massive job on his part. And then navigating your way through this kind of competition against the quality that he came up against, all credit to him and his technical team and the club as a whole. They did fantastically well, but he is the leader, and so we have to give him credit.
And they showed a lot of maturity in this tournament, Hlompo Kekana, Sundowns. We even saw in the last stages of the second leg final now, they were using those tactics from North Africa. Does it talk to how much this team has grown and has become used to playing this kind of games?
It's experience. Experience, you don't buy it. Experience, you get it in matches like this, where you have to be tested. And sometimes you get angry at yourself for not doing the right things. And these players, they know they didn't do the right thing last season when this team knocked them out of the Champions League, because there were a time where they could have played play for time, and they didn't do that because they were naive at the time. But now they've learned their lesson. They can't do the same mistake that they did last season. Now is the time to build from this and learn a lot of things, and you learn through these experiences. And I think they're a different team now because of those experiences. And now going forward, I think they know what the demands of this tournament, and they will apply themselves accordingly.
You mentioned Champions League. There's been talk that this is not the Champions League, but we've seen the elite football, high-quality football here, best against the best. And you can see the emotions from Coach Rulani. It feels like winning the Champions League.
I did say in the beginning of the tournament that it's more than money. It's more than everything else. It's pride of players. It's pride of coach. If you see how emotional he is because he's competing against everybody else. So in that level, unfortunately, you're not playing for yourself. The responsibility is huge. The doubters are there. Everybody else, you have to be measured against this best team in the continent. And I did mention in the beginning that players of Mamelodi Sundowns, they are feeling that form of slowly going to the legendary status, because you're competing in the tournament that not only normal players compete, but top talent players compete. If you look at those teams that are playing there, they are from different countries. And one team alone in Egypt, Al Ali, is based on players that are from all over the world. That tells you that the level of the game will never be the same. It takes you to another level because you're competing with the best in the continent. So that gives you an edge when it comes back to our home league, because then the resistance will never be that same. You will always have an upper hand because you have learned so much in that space, and that's the national team for other players that don't have an opportunity to play in the national team.
Is it really not about money, Mark Haskins? A lot has been said about the $4 million US, but you guys have played, and Hlompo keeps emphasizing that players, more than anything, play for the badge.
No, the money is the bonus. I mean, the president of CAF came and he said, this is about putting more money in the players' pockets. And that's what I love about this competition, because players a lot of times on the continent are the least that's considered. They considered after everyone else. And players are the ones who are doing the business on the field, so they should be the most important. And the premise of this, the prize money, it's about the players. And so, when that's the thinking, that's when prize money to the players can become secondary, because they know they are being looked after. And that's what's so important. And so the pride and the prestige of winning this tournament can take the center stage, because financially you will be rewarded.
This player here, Mudau,
Koliso Mudau.
What a player.
I think there's a few players that we can mention throughout this tournament.
I promise you.
Koliso Mudau is one of those who stood up. I think the whole world is looking and saying, who is this man?
Yeah.
I think he can be one of the best right backs in the world, not just on the continent. I would put my head on the block and say in the world.
Yeah.
He is top quality. I've never seen a player going defensively into attack as seamlessly as he does. He recovers beautifully, he attacks beautifully.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely exceptional. He's been one of the standout players, and he's really announced himself, I think, now on a global stage.
And don't get this twisted, Mr. Musia. Players are measured by the trophies they win. And this is one of the trophies that will change the whole complexion of how they see football. And from now on, I think, with the league, with a lot of trophies that are still coming their way, they deserve to be there.
Yeah, because when we refer to you, we refer to you as a CAF Champions League winner and a CAF Super Cup winner. So these players will now go down in history as AFL winners, Mamelodi Sundowns group. And also the supporters, Shompo, they deserve a mention. Yeah, they've heeded the call. They got the team over the line against Al Ahly, and we had them up until the last minute today again.
They really played a huge role today, Mr. Musia. If you look at the very first minute when this game started, even when they were frustrated with the Wydad players going down all the time, they stayed put. They stayed composed. They were singing. They make sure that the team is focused, and I mean, they deserve a big credit.
And they were cheering the boys all along, all throughout. And yes, I mean, that opening half, we didn't get a goal until we were well into injury time, a 12-minute injury time period. That's when they scored, but the crowd was there throughout. And, you know, it's easy to get frustrated. Is that goal going to come? Because they know the importance. Sundowns had to score today. They had to win this game today. But the supporters definitely never let them down. They filled the stadium, and they made sure that the players on the field knew the 12th man was there backing them all the way.
Yeah, and like they say on Soccer Zone, they scored in the critical stage of the game. Injury time in the first half and very early in the second half, Mark.
Yeah, well, it's important. I think to stay focused the whole period of the game helps. And it goes back to the point Marky made, that they need to be very patient on the ball. And they did that without fail. And I think more than anything, it was just that moment where Peter Shalulile was the missing link on this Mamelodi Sundowns
Well,
team.
the great JJ Okocha is also here in the country. Hey, Mark Haskins, you had some of those skills like JJ Okocha. He must have been one of your idols.
He certainly was. I mean, there's a few skills that I took from him, watched him and tried myself. Absolute legend of the continent. I mean, JJ, going back to 1994 in the USA, I won't forget him. And he graces the occasion today, and I'm sure he would have been impressed with the performance that Sundowns put up today as well. Tabiso, what makes my heart happy about this is that this kind of tournament and this matchup and all the matchups in this tournament, when the rest of the world views this, it was high quality football. Exceptional quality football. And that is what we are capable of on the continent. And for me, I think that that's the idea behind a tournament like this, is to say to the rest of the world, don't sleep on Africa. We've got top quality teams, top quality coaches, top quality facilities. And definitely, it's just been an absolutely amazing tournament.
Okay, JJ Okocha taking the trophy to the main stage there. He was so good, his parents had to name him twice, JJ Okocha. But talking about that, then, Shompo, there is talk that the AFL will be expanded next season to 24 teams. It's a pilot project, the first edition. There seems to be a lot of appetite for it. Is it here to stay, according to you, and is it good to see best against the best?
I think it has to be here to stay, and it's going to give players more time and more development in terms of checking themselves where they will be in terms of their level in the game. And adding more teams, I'm sure, is going to add number of games to the players. And the players, there's nothing that makes them happy to play in football matches. Of course, the dynamics and the logistics has to be proper in terms of who are we going to put and the numbers of games that will be there. Because remember, if you put 24, as they knock each other out, they don't match up in terms of the numbers that will be.
I've been thinking about this, and in my mind, I'm trying to work out how it's going to work.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm thinking maybe the top 8 miss the first round. It's a bye. That means 16 teams play straight knockout, and then you're left with 8.
Yeah.
And then the top 8 come in again. Now it's again a round of 16.
Yeah.
And then a knockout. I don't know.
But of course, it will give that headache
but I'm sure they've planned something spectacular.
Yeah.
This tournament, I was skeptical initially, but having been a part of it, having watched it, I think it was superb.
Yeah.
I think it's a great advertisement for Africa, for South Africa, for everyone involved, and I'm all for it, to be honest. I'm excited about the next one.
Yeah, and there has been talk, obviously, that also the associations will also benefit from the money that's been pumped into the African Football League. $200 million US dollars have been pumped into this league, and they're hoping that the money will also help sustain the clubs there. That was the word from the CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, as well as his counterpart at FIFA, Gianni Infantino. They don't want to see African players, maybe Africa losing its best players to Europe. It's going to be hard, though. Do you see that happening, though? The teams keeping their best players on the continent, Mark, like Sundowns can keep a player instead of sending him to Belgium or to some of these so-called smaller leagues.
I think that's already the case for Sundowns, to be honest with you. And if we continue improving football on the continent and we continue growing football on the continent, I don't see why not. I don't see why we can't start attracting, some top quality talent. We already see someone like Allende. I mean, that's a top quality talent that's been brought into our shores. And long may this continue. I think it's about time that Africa took center stage and started, being a leader and not a follower in terms of global football.
And on the other side of the coin, Hlompo, it might attract maybe players from Europe to come here to Africa and play on the continent. We've seen recently with Al Ahly bringing in Modeste, who was at Borussia at Dortmund. Also, there's a possibility of that happening now with the money being pumped into the clubs by this league.
I think it will bring a lot of attention to the players that will want to come and experience Africa and experience what the atmosphere it is like in Africa. So looking at the whole tournament from the beginning till now, I think I've got no doubt that coming the next edition of this could be much better in terms of the player quality, maybe even the infrastructure and going to other places. But I think the money that is invested in tournament, I think they need to take it into the traveling part of it, and that must be the number one priority, because players need to arrive into the next match very fresh, looking forward to the match. And I think the intensity of this match from the first match till now, the standard hasn't dropped, and you can tell that these are the equal team and well-coached team. And this is what we want to see as Africans.
Should this be the benchmark then, Mark Haskins, for African football? You've spoken about the quality of football here, even the quality of the field, the broadcasting, social media, how it's been used. This is the standard now. We can't drop the ball.
Yeah, certainly. I think that's the benchmark has been set. As we see, Ronwen Williams.
How crucial has it been also for Sundowns?
For me, 3 players, and he's one of those. He stood up big. When you look at the first game against Petro, they could have been knocked out against Petro in the first half of the first match, if not for Ronwen Williams. I mean, 2 penalty saves along the way, once against Petro, one against Al Ahly in Egypt. More than, that is so significant. And not just that, his build-up play, his ability to play from the back, his ability to start the attacks, that's what sets him apart, and that's why he is easily, for me, the best goalkeeper in the tournament. Probably one of the best, if not the best, in Africa right now.
Well deserved for Ronwen Williams. As a double save of a penalty against Petro, as Mark said in the first leg, also came to the party, also against Al Ahly in the semi-final, and he makes them play from the back, also nominated at the CAF Awards also, and he has really grown into his own here at Sundowns.
Well, that's where playing with best players in the continent, they will make you grow. They will make you reach to the level that you have never reached, because you have to up the tempo all the time. And Ronwen is at that space where every player will take his level to the next level.
Just like Thapelo Maseko actually has taken his game to the next level.
I'm happy for the boy, because he's been hammered in the past few months, and to see him getting the trophy, for me, I think this is very, very special for the boy. I think he will take motivation from there and move forward with it, and I think this is a growth. When I see this, I get excited from players who take care of their game.
Thapelo Maseko scoring against Petro de Luanda, the first goal of that 2-0 win away, also scoring against Al Ahly Mark, and it's easy to forget that he's only 20 and there's so much potential there.
Not just that, he just turned 20.
He just turned 20.
He just came out of his teenhood. He was still a teen a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So yes, exceptional development. A rough start in the tournament. I think he's going to go up for another prize, eh? I think that was top scorer prize.
Yeah.
And I think he might get the young player of the tournament as well. As you can see, they're just standing. He went through the tunnel already. Mustn't he go through the tunnel again, Klompo?
And there he comes again, getting another award there, Thapelo Maseko, silencing maybe some of his doubters and some of the criticism.
Yeah.
What is it, Klompo? Is it a case of this kind of football suiting him more than maybe the domestic football where he's been heavily criticized?
I think we are very impatient as a country, as in our football. The reason why we're not where we are in terms of the level in the national team is because we're not patient enough in terms of the development of players and giving players chance to express themselves in a space. This is adaptation. When a kid just joins a team, and this is a game model altogether, you need a player to adjust. Give him enough time. Give him space to adjust, because some players are struggling to play with the best players in the league. And you come from where you come from, and you were the best player. You were the thing that must make sure that the team win football matches. And you come to a space where everybody is equally as good as you are. Then that needs adaptation. That needs a strong mentality to know that you have to complement another player. So you need enough time. You need space. You need people to understand that elements of the game and to give you that space to adjust to the space.
Does it also talk to the coach, Mark Haskins? Because we spoke about Mudau, he's improved at Sundowns. We saw Ronwen also. People didn't know he could play from the back when he was at SuperSport. And we're seeing Thapelo Maseko also taking his game to the next level. Players seem to improve at Sundowns.
Yeah, that's definitely, you have to give credit to the technical team. When you're bringing players in and you know exactly why they're coming in and why you've signed them, because they're there to serve a purpose. They're there to play in a specific role. Yeah. You're not just signing for the sake of signing. They fit in. They fit into the culture of the club. Yeah. You've signed them because you have a specific assignment for them, and you have to give credit to the coach and his technical team. And I mean the scouts at Sundowns. Yeah. Is there any better scouts in the country? I mean, if you look at the quality that they're bringing in, not just local talent, but internationally as well. They're doing a phenomenal job all around, and so great credit to them. And we have to say credit to the match officials. The match officials on the day. I think that game could have gotten out of hand very easily. So much at stake with the delaying tactics. Eventually, Sundowns also employed their own delay tactics, but the officials handled the game beautifully. And it ended up being a really, beautiful encounter.
And I think overall, Klompo, the officiating in this tournament has been very good. We saw Abongile Tom also in Zakele Siwela, also in the other match.
I think we need to give credit to the officials, of course, with the organizers of this tournament, for making sure that they brought quality in terms of officiation. And looking at the way they handled the match from the first match till now, you can easily say we're satisfied with everything, and especially with that VAR coming in handy in helping the situation after.
Okay, so here they are, the players coming up to get their medals now, and we hand over to our commentary team, Michael Abramson, to take us through this medal ceremony.
Thank you so much, Tabiso. Well, for Wydad Casablanca, it's a bridge too far. They really gave it their all, but today, for the first half, they looked nervous. They looked as if they weren't sure of what they were doing, and they couldn't string two passes together effectively. Much, much better in the second half, but by then the game was already escaping them. they've done well. Remember, they were without their captain Yaya Jabran for this leg. He wasn't even part of the squad today, having failed a late fitness test. He was one of the World Cup stars for Morocco last season. But today they gave it their all, but it wasn't enough. Sundowns were just too clinical and too efficient for them. But still, they have given great credit as far as the tournament is concerned. They put out in Yimba 4-0 on aggregate. They beat Esperance on penalties after each home leg ended 1-0. And they are a side who've been magnificent on the continent. They called the Red Castle. Some call them the Red Devils. They have certainly graced this competition and given it a real gloss. They come to Loftus this time. They've never won here, and they continue not to win here. But they certainly gave it their all right up until the end. First time ever that a match between these sides in 14 previous meetings, including today, has ended by a bigger than 1 goal margin. So Sundowns have that credit. That man, Sambo, leaving the podium now. 7 goals in the Champions League, the Senegalese. He's in line for big honours as well. This man gave it his all as well. And then some of the players who didn't get a chance to play. That's the goalkeeper Boubacar Ba, who's one of 3 goalkeepers named today in the Wydad squad. So they will go home to North Africa with their heads held high. But right now, there's only one team to celebrate. A team who have lost only once now in 33 matches in all competitions, including friendlies. If you take penalty shootouts out of the equation, their only loss came last week at the Mohammed V Stadium since April, when they lost to Stellies in the Nedbank Cup. Kuli Somodao, outstanding, as you've heard our panelists say. He's rewarded with a call-up to the Bafana Bafana squad next week. 8 of these players will be part of that squad to face Benin. And he's first up onto the panel. Mokoena had a wonderful game as well. In fact, they all played brilliantly, and you just feel for the players that didn't get on the park today. Ribeiro Costa, so good to see him back, having missed a big chunk of the season with injury. That man Gaston Cirino didn't get on the park today, and you could just see the pride oozing out of every pore of Rulani Mokoena here. He is so proud. He doesn't care about domestic cups that the side have lost on penalties. He knows that Sundowns are destined for bigger things. Probably the greatest club, if not definitely the greatest club that South Africa have ever produced. They just have title after title. And even the players who didn't make it on the park today have been part of the Sundowns family, the yellow family, as Rulani Mokoena calls them. They are destined for great things. And I'm sure there will be more titles as well for them. They'll be back next year, no doubt, to defend their title. Peter Shalulile on left of picture. He looks as if he's never been away. Missed 5 consecutive matches in this tournament as a result of injury. But he trained and he was back. And he made a difference. Scored 1, could have scored another. Man there holding the trophy, kissing the trophy now, is the Moroccan in Sundowns colours, almost like a wolf in sheep's clothing. The left back, Butuel, who played a big part, and he is probably even happier than some of the rest of his teammates. But with the dignitaries in attendance, so many great players in attendance, and so many officials who run the game of football effectively on a worldwide stage, they are here to see Sundowns' moment of glory, and a packed stadium enjoying every minute of this. I don't quite know how the side are going to come back down to earth for maybe some lesser battles in the days ahead. But Temba Zwane, the only survivor in the current squad from that 2016 success, oldest man on the park today at 34. He captained the side to glory and emulated what our studio guest Hlompo Kekana did with Sundowns in 2016. It's a brand new competition. It will grow, it will get bigger, and it will get better. But for Sundowns, very few moments are better than this, and they've stamped their authority on club football on the continent in a very decisive fashion. Messrs. Infantino and Motsepe will hand over the trophy to the captain, Champagne corks will pop all over Tshwane tonight. And Sundowns will celebrate as few have celebrated before. AFL champions, take a bow, the Yellow Army. Loftus salutes you. South Africa salutes you. And this magnificent team continue to break all sorts of records. As the sparklers go off and the yellow and blue papers surround the stadium, we'll leave it from commentary, Tabiso. I'll hand it back to you. But we bow down to this magnificent team who have represented South Africa so proudly and so well. From OJ and myself in commentary, it's back to you in studio.
Yeah, the flag bearers of South African football, Mamelodi Sundowns, in seventh heaven today after winning the African Football League. They have made history. They've claimed another continental trophy here. And as they are celebrating on the field, there are also celebrations here in studio with Sompo Kekana, who knows exactly how this moment feels as somebody who's lifted the CAF Champions League title. It feels like he's on the field and he's also lifting this title. And I guess it talks to the unity and the family, Sompo, that is Sundowns, because we've seen even the former players have been absorbed by the club. They're still in the system and they are teaching the youngsters the Sundowns culture.
I think that the reason why the Sundowns team is so successful is the fact that there is no bigger gap between them and the former players. So there is reference in the players. Like Maseko, for instance, we're talking about young Maseko. There is reference because he can easily ask myself when I'm at Lorcop what it means to play for Mamelodi Sundowns. It's easier for him to reach on surprise. And many other former Mamelodi Sundowns players that I believe they are with the team. So it's easier to relate to some of the problems with them because not many coaches can easily enter into players, but the other former players, even the senior guys, because they can drop the walls very, very low to somebody which they relate to.
There's a man in the front of that picture wearing the number 10 jersey there. I mean,
I'm happy
a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, we thought he would never be a part of the squad. Gaston Serino, a big part of this tournament as well, came on and contributed, played a massive role in getting to this point as well. And that speaks to the club, speaks to who the club is, what the club is about. The fact that Gaston Serino, he could have been cast in the wayside, cast in the rubbish bin, but he's come back and he's, cemented himself as part of Sundowns folklore, and he'll go down in the history books as one of the most successful Sundowns players as well. And kudos to the club as a whole, just for the way they've gone about their business.
What about this Moroccan defender they call AB? What has he brought to Sundowns?
I think he has brought stability, he has brought some flair, brought some intelligence in defending, and of course, he can't do it alone. You can tell that they've got a team of defenders that works together. If Mutobi Mbala's not there, he's there to take a centre-back position. And they rotate with that, and it goes back to what Maki was talking about, the camaraderie of this team and the harmony between the players and the technical team to give the players this platform to express themselves the way they know how. It goes back to the senior guys in Dennis Onyango. I mean, having to win so many trophies as the best goalkeeper in the continent, he's still leading from the front, making sure that the change room is strong and ready to take the baton and run with it. And it's not an easy task to be asked for. I believe a lot of players that the Tembazwane, I mean, massive contribution to this team, and I believe, like I said, this is the team that I believe they deserve to win this trophy. They deserve to reward themselves with this kind of...
Well, they're trying to get the coach to the front there. He doesn't want to take all the credit there. Mark, you wanted to add?
I was going to say, the scary thing about this Sundowns team, if you look at some of the ages there, I mean, Allende is 24, Butuwil is 25. There's still Ribeiro Costa is 25. Maseko's just turned 20. There's a 16-year-old on the bench that they're grooming to, really come in and do great things. But there's so many players of quality. I mean, Mudau is, 27, I think it is, 28 now. They're either mid to late 20s, so you can still get a good 5, 6 years out of
Yeah.
most of them.
Yeah.
Good quality years.
So they're still going to play together
team-
and win football matches. So you can easily
It's
bank
scary.
on them
It's
to
scary
say they
because-
can dominate until, I don't know, when.
How long they're gonna
But
dominate
because
for.
of that age that you just mentioned, I mean, you know, some players will go as far as, 35, 36.
Exactly.
And that makes them, to stretch to 6 years together. So, of course, they stand a chance of...
Talk to us about the influence of this young Shopi Mutsepe.
I think it's massive.
What has he brought to the team here?
He brought, that young and exuberant mentality of trying new things. And you can tell that this is a team that continue to grow, and even in their marketing space, they're going to, as far as, going to collaborate with big companies now. They are now with Rock Nation, they're now with Red Bull, they're now with, where a lot of companies are now associating with them, and that brought by a young...
and you have to say he's decisive as well.
Yeah?
Because, I mean, his decision to make Rulani Mukwena the outright head coach, that had, it took a lot because Coach Mangoba has been there for a very long time. And to be decisive and take that kind of decision when you see that it's needed, you're not patting and pieing and stroking people's egos. You were firm and you made a really tough decision. But he wasn't afraid to make it. And that speaks to leadership and great mentality as well.
A leadership must take those
it's a tough decision,
hard
and someone has to take it.
Have to make it.
And what about this backroom staff? Wendell Robinson, I know Mark has mentioned him before. Coach Mangoba Mngiti also doesn't like the spotlight, but also surely they should get credit.
There's a lot of people that I know they contributed to this massive team, and they should be given a credit. And but the lady said that to cook for these boys, making sure that they are all they follow their diet.
Well.
Coach Wendell, as you mentioned, there's other guys who are working with the players. Fitnesses, they brought Peter Shalulile right on time, right at the best time where they needed him the most, and he came and delivered. And who can even forget that he was injured? He came back and he made sure that he won the match for them.
So everybody gets a bonus now.
Oh, for sure. Everybody can get the bonus and they must smile home. But of course, it's those sacrifices that you made through before you get the bonus. And that will make you even appreciate what you do more, because you won the trophy. Not only won the trophy, but that process of going to the trophy final, that is massive.
Massive sacrifices. Thank you to the midfield pairing of Hlompo Kekana. A delighted Hlompo Kekana and Mark Haskins here. That is it from us from the AFL on SABC. We now hand over to the president to see if he's going to address us tomorrow, and maybe, just maybe, we could have another public holiday.